else that Jason just said, because I don't want that to go under the radar. JJ, I want to ask you this question. Is Saka average, like Jason has just suggested?
This season, yeah.
He's good. Is he world class? I don't think so. Very one-dimensional. I feel like
is he better than Jared Bowen?
No, JJ, don't hold back, bro. Don't hold back.
I think. Look, I'm going to be honest, and I've said this for a while. I think when it comes to Saka, Saka's a very kind of, you're a left back. We're going to put you out wide now, and you're going to do the same thing over and over again in training. We're going to do the same movement. You're going to get that ball. You're going to pass it. You're going to come inside, do a 1-2, and if that doesn't work, like there's nothing else. There's no, I'm going to do a step over, go on the outside. You just know he's gonna, he's gonna come in on his left side. And when you've got a right-footed centre back at left back, that's easy to deal with. There was even a ball over the top where Joe Gomez looked like he's behind him, got back in front and just stood there because knew, like, go on, take it on your right foot. Of course, he wasn't going to do that. He had to come inside, and that's why he just shot it, just kicked the ball at Gomez. I think Saka, look, they do it with English players as well. When you're doing really well, they overrate you. Do you know what I mean? They overrate you. Like, do you know what I mean? He's not bad, he's not terrible, but is he world class? Is he the best in his position in the league? This is what people are trying to tell me. Bear in mind, we had Mahrez, Salah, and Co in the league last year. But he's the best on the league on form? Maybe, yeah. But
you know what? Fair play, yeah. Fair play. He got the GA, yeah. Apparently got 19 GA in 25 games, but then again, his overall performance stinks, man. I can't lie. He's so predictable for fullbacks now. Like, you know, when I know in coming back to Matt's point, oh yeah, everyone's double upping on him. Look at Salah. Look at the other Man City wingers that's been doubled up on. They have other ideas.
Compared Saka to Salah.
What do you mean?
If you're going to call him world class,
that was the argument. That's the argument people are having.
That's the whole point. If you're going to call him world class, you've got to put him on that level.
Sorry, you can't expect to sit in these arguments for league titles and Champions Leagues, and then whenever your players don't perform, go, it's okay though, it's this, it's that. You've got to call them out. If you're good enough, you're old enough. And Bukayo Saka is showing that he only has one element to his game right now. And I've seen Gomez do him. I rate Gomez as a good defender. But he's not the only one. I've seen Anthony Robinson do him. I've seen a lot of average to poor defenders deal with Bukayo Saka this season, whether or not he's being double up on or not, because he has one avenue. And this is the one thing he's got to get out of his game. He's not this elite finisher. He's a decent creator. He's not an elite creator. Bukayo Saka is not elite at anything. He needs to find the aspect he needs to become elite in, and he needs to find it soon, because you can't be a best in the Premier League right winger if you're just, you're not going to be this best winger in the Premier. If you're just decent, it's not how it works.
All I want to say, not even say, the way Arsenal fans are moving is how Liverpool fans were moving last year. I think you guys need some therapy. Me and some of the Liverpool fans, do you know what I mean? We were holding therapy sessions. We used to, do you know what I mean? We found that we sourced packs of copium. They came in packs of 24, 3 in a pack. There's a nice deal, $13.99. Get at me, Tom, Ram, whoever's on the panel. We'll definitely ship that out to you. Do you know what I mean? We still got stock from last season. The fact you're melting down like this, whilst being second, third, fourth, whatever it is in this title race, is crazy. Crazy.
I've got
a
question for you Liverpool guys, right? Because this is... How much of this with Arteta at Arsenal reminds you of Brendan Rodgers at your club?
Do you know what the difference is?
Everything could not get you over the line.
Do you know what the difference we had? It was so obvious because we had Luis Suarez in our team. It was so obvious. When he left, everything fell apart. And then you look at the signings, barring Daniel Sturridge and Coutinho, who were great signings for us, none of them weren't really of that level. And then you got Mama Saka, who wasn't. It was okay. It wasn't that great. No, that's why I mentioned Coutinho and Sturridge. Yeah. Other than those two, everyone else was more or less meh.
I think that's a good question. JJ brings up a good point here, though. Are Arsenal fans, and I've said this for the last 3 games now, are you panicking too soon? And is that also damaging your team?
No. Did you hear the Emirates tonight, Tel? Did you hear the Emirates? Yeah,
what about it?
Because against West Ham, you were saying about how you couldn't hear the fans. Mm-hmm. I could hear the fans clearly tonight.
Yep.
Right. The fans were there tonight, and they was up for this game. And it showed in that first 45 minutes. But ultimately, once again, what happened was we didn't take our chances and we allowed Liverpool back into the game in the second half. So I don't think this is a fan issue at all. Yeah, you've got the handful like me, Lee, and you know, a few others that are just like, no, this manager isn't good enough. But the majority of Arsenal fans are behind this, right? The majority of Arsenal fans seem to think that this is all of a sudden going to turn around. I don't think it will.
But Brandon, if you're saying that tactically, like not tactically, but if you're saying that, look, I mean, prior to this, people were saying, you know, Liverpool, Arsenal have played some amazing football. We dominate every game, but we just can't finish. Then surely that's on the players. Now you can talk about the transfer policy of it, but if you had different players, you might not dominate in the same way. You should have been 4-0 up. You should have been 4-0 up at one point in that game, if we're going to be honest. Yet you allowed Liverpool to go and score. Do you know what I mean, just scumming their way to a win?
JJ, I'm going to say something
I enjoyed
real quick.
more than anything.
I'm going to slide in with your point nicely. You see the difference between Liverpool and Arsenal? Liverpool played Newcastle. We had so many shots on target. It could have easily been a game where it's like, oh, Liverpool couldn't score. But we ended up being 4-2. Arsenal against Aston Villa, where was it Aston Villa where you had a lot of shots?
West Ham. It was West Ham.
Oh, sorry, West Ham. It was West Ham. No, it was actually Aston Villa as well, because I
it's just all their games. They just seem to have a lot of shots in all their games.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but it's what I feel like is that expectation of Arsenal has risen this season because people know that they're a good team. So when the expectation has risen, when they go into the moments where it's squeaky bum time, they crumble.
Yeah, all it is, we had this problem early on. We had this problem early on under Klopp when you look at your attack and it's decent, it's creating the chances, but no one's scoring. There is no killer in that Arsenal squad. There is. I don't believe Arteta has a man he looks at and goes, he could finish for me. If the chance fell to him in the 90th, he's burying that. You don't have one. You lack one. Liverpool have multiple now. Liverpool can produce. Liverpool have got defenders who I'd trust to, bury chance in the last minute. I look at the Arsenal squad. Wouldn't trust Odegaard. Wouldn't trust Saka. Wouldn't trust Martinelli. Wouldn't trust Jesus. Wouldn't trust Havertz. That's the big problem. You spent 600 million quid and you've not addressed the toughest thing in football.
And this is where it comes down to the manager and the recruitment team again, because like you just said, right? You were talking about Liverpool. They've got multiple killers. Even Darwin Núñez, right? Who hasn't ripped it up in the Premier League, but you can look at him. He's a proven goal scorer. He's proved it elsewhere. Yeah. We don't have anybody. We've signed Kai Havertz, who couldn't hit a bar and door at Chelsea. We signed Gabriel Jesus, who was never, ever a clinical goal scorer. And we allowed Eddie Nketiah to stay and sign a £100,000 a week contract and give him the number 14. These are all decisions that the manager has made, right? So, yeah, okay, you could blame the players for not finishing their chances, but who decided to keep these players and sign these players in the first place?
And Brandon, just to add on what you're saying, yeah, I think when you look back at the start of the season of what Arsenal fans were saying, they set themselves up for this massive fall. They set themselves up. You talk about the players that you kept hyping up, players that aren't proven. Your manager is still not proven. Everyone likes to do the comparison with Liverpool and Arsenal because we're very similarly run teams. But the difference between us, we've got a winner of a manager who's won league titles elsewhere and done it against a monopoly. We've got players who have, when we signed players, Fabinho won a title against PSG with Monaco. Like we signed Shaqiri, who won league titles with Bayern Munich. Like we've signed players that won trophies. And look at the signings, barring Zinchenko and Jesus. You haven't signed those players, and the signings that you made this season made 0 sense. It made no sense. But whenever there was pushback, Arsenal fans didn't want to hear it. When I told you Kai Havertz isn't an 8, he's never been an 8 unless you put proper protection behind him, which you don't because you got Martin Odegaard next to him. It was never going to work. So the pushback from Arsenal fans saying, "Oh, nothing's wrong, everything's great, all these players are amazing. Kai Havertz is a generational talent," all that kind of nonsense. The fall is gonna be massive. You set
yourselves
up
lying to themselves, Most Arsenal fans actually lie to themselves because all these times, when they were playing like a Chelsea, Shai Havertz and stuff like that, and when we're linked with him, it's just like, bro, come on, Kai Havertz, young German player, they hyped them up for no reason, man. Like. You guys never told the truth. Like even when you call out all the players, but Arteta's never to blame. That's what I'm saying. Toxic positivity.
Yeah. Do you know how funny today was? Do you know how funny today was? I watched my manager sit there and take the piss. He didn't want a replay, but he didn't think we were going to go on and dominate the game for the rest of it. He brought on the kids. He took the piss. He brought on the kids, and yet we still won because when it got to squeaky bum time, I watched Martinelli, one of the best wingers in the league, apparently, get pocketed by a lad who was doing up Rochdale away last year. Bradley done nothing wrong against him. Bradley held his own perfectly against him. This is Martinelli, who's supposed to be, one of the biggest threats in the league, ready to take that next step. Is there time to now realise that what Arsenal done last year was a flash in the pan? It was literally just because Liverpool weren't any good last year.
No, Tom, we're not allowed to say that. We're not
He's
allowed
only
to say
20.
that.
He's only 20, guys.
No,
Sorry,
Tom, we're not allowed to say that. Remember last season when we said it was a flash in the pan and we got absolutely cooked for it? We're not allowed to say it was a flash in the pan. Arsenal are an amazing team. They got one of the best players they got one of the best right wingers in the world. They got the best left wing in the world. They got one of the best goalkeepers, best centre back partnership. Everything.
Even though today I watched a Van Dijkless Liverpool, I watched Canate walk up to the Emirates, stand in the Emirates, take the piss out of Arsenal. Jarell Conte even took the piss and he got injured halfway through. They both took the piss out of Arsenal. They had no respect for Arsenal. They were just blocking shots because Kai Havertz took 3 years to take one. And we won. Every single Liverpool player there. I think it's very telling that Liverpool and Man City do not respect Arsenal. But they respect each other. That's the big difference. Until you're able to get the respect from the big clubs, you're not at that level. And that's the fact today. And Man City finishes that game in that first half. If that was at Anfield and it was the other way around, we finished that game in the first half. Arsenal don't have it. It's fine to not have it. But I don't know how you get that. I don't know how you get that gene in you because certain players, they run out of time to get it. We keep running this thing on Saka. Oh, he's young, he's got time. He's played about 300 games. That injury problem is coming sooner rather than later, as it always does for players who play loads of football when they're young. The injuries catch up later on. Saka should have developed that killer edge by now. Martinelli needs to hurry up and develop that killer edge before it goes. If you don't do that, there's no point. Because you're just going to end up in a different problem where if your striker don't play, I'm assuming you're buying a striker, who knows? You might just buy another fucking Chelsea flop to play up top, who knows? But if you buy a striker, you're just going to end up with a problem where everything has to go through the striker or you're not scoring goals. Arsenal have a real problem because we should not have won that game today. But because of that and that, we won. And Arsenal don't have that.
We're going to go to some super chats and come back to them. We've got a lot of super chats to get through here. This one here says, Ali, one semi-difficult save to make from a deflection. Yeah, that's one thing I would say. They didn't work the goalkeeper enough today, Arsenal. With all them chances, it was more blocks. CFC Pirate says the Arsenal front three won't stand a chance against...
Photo glimpse of Norway.
There we go. Let alone Liverpool.
They literally
Manny here says fan base is pathetic. Seeing empty seats with one goal down. Arsenal was toothless. Subs were too late. Another wasted competition. I didn't really respond there because I wanted the panel to speak. But when Brandon said like the crowd was good for the first 45 minutes, come the 55th, 60th minute, it went again. If you'd have maintained that for the whole 90, could have still been different. You need to whether. I get you want some of these players gone, you want new people to come in. But until that happens, you've got to I think you just got to stand behind them because it's not going to get better. Listen, I get, no, it's not to come on sale. I get where you guys are coming from. You guys, people like you, Brandon, want to be Real Madrid. You want to get the white hankies out and smash their cars up after games. No. But you're not Real Madrid.
I'm not even going to say that, Tel. All I'm going to say
like Real Madrid
is, yeah, okay, the 55th minute, maybe it dampened down a little bit, but that's because... You know, we've just watched God knows how many missed chances in the first 45 minutes.
It dampened down when
the seed of doubt. The seed of doubt.
I understand, but know your team. Your team does not play well when your crowd does that. So why do it? You want them to win. So fight against your natural instincts and come on, boys, keep your chins up, keep going. That's what you need to do to help these young men. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying it's what's needed. There's a difference between those two things. I need to try and get through some more of these super chats, mate. There's like 44 of them, and I want to respect the viewers as best we can. Thank you, Manny. LVG got us to a FA Cup playing awful. Arsenal flopped. That's from Ronnie. Arsenal fans say it loud. AFTV, what a frauds. Fair enough. Well, I don't know what they've said, so I don't know what that's in reference to. Kai Kills attacks confidence whenever he goes. Would you say that's fair, Steve? Do you think Kai Havertz is the reason that Arsenal's attack has lost confidence?
I mean, it don't help. That's the problem. It don't help. And you, when you're looking for a solution, you don't want to bring in a guy that doesn't move the needle. You want to bring a guy that moves the needle. So, I mean, yeah, obviously a Chelsea fan saying that too. It's a bit of banter, but there might be some slight truth in that. He doesn't help enough. That's what it is for me.
Paul here said he's gutted. He says Brandon's 100% right. Ramsdale and Saliba, played well.
Yeah, I actually thought Ramsdale had quite a good game.
He made a really good save towards the end, definitely. Come on, Gooners. It's just at the Emirates, not Anfield. Don't be reactionary. Arsenal can still win the double. Sack him if he wins nothing. I'm pretty sure Balogun wouldn't have finished those chances, though.
I can still get with Zendaya, mate. Don't worry. I'll hold out the hope.
The sitter in pre-season. He went round the keeper and still missed. I don't think he would have.
Arsenal have bigger fish to fry. A little banter there, man.